He had walked away from a palace, a wife, a newborn son, everything most people spend their lives chasing. Now he owned a robe, a bowl, and a question. This is the part of the Buddha's story most people skip. The 6 years between the palace and the tree. The years of searching. His road led to Rajagaha, capital of Magadha, one of the great cities of ancient India. A young ascetic with noble bearing does not pass through such a city unnoticed. The Pabbajja Sutta, one of the oldest poems in the Buddhist canon, records what happened next. King Bimbisara himself came to find the stranger on the mountainside. The king studied him, young, strong, clearly born to rule something. So Bimbisara made an offer few men could refuse: wealth, command, a place at the head of armies. The answer was quiet and complete. He had left a kingdom already. He was not looking for another. But he made the king one promise. When he found what he sought, he would come back and teach it. The Majjhima Nikaya records his first stop, the forest school of a master named Alara Kalama. He learned fast, unsettlingly fast. In a short time, he could enter a meditative state so deep, the texts call it the sphere of nothingness, the edge of the map of the human mind. Alara Kalama offered him everything a teacher can offer. Come, lead this community beside me. And the young seeker asked himself one devastating question. When I rise from this stillness, is anything actually solved? The texts give his verdict. This path leads to refined calm, not to awakening. So he bowed and walked on, to an even more famous master, Uddaka Ramaputta, and an even more rarefied state, neither perception nor non-perception. The summit of everything meditation could reach in his era. Uddaka offered him not partnership, but the seat of the teacher itself. Again, the same question. The same verdict. Still not the way out. 2 masters, 2 summits, 2 resignations. If the highest teachings of his time could not answer the question, he would have to go somewhere no teacher could follow. He came to Uruvela, on the banks of the Neranjara River. Quiet groves, clear water, villages near enough for alms. He would stay 6 years. 5 ascetics found him there and stayed, convinced this extraordinary man would crack the code of existence, and they wanted to be present when he did. What followed, he later described himself in the Mahasachaka Sutta with the calm of a man reading his own medical chart. He crushed thought with thought until sweat ran from his armpits. He held his breath until the pressure roared in his ears like a blacksmith's bellows. Then came the fasting. Less food each week. Toward the end, the texts say, almost nothing at all. His own words survive. limbs like jointed sticks, a spine like a string of beads, eyes sunk so deep they glittered like water at the bottom of a well. When he touched his stomach, he could feel his backbone. 6 years of this. The 5 ascetics watched in awe. Surely, this was almost it. It wasn't. The strongest meditator of his generation, with the most extreme discipline ever recorded, and the question was no closer to an answer than the day he left the palace. Tradition tells of the day he collapsed, the day the road nearly ended in an unmarked grave by a river. And in that wreckage, a thought with the force of thunder. If killing the body cannot free the mind, what if the war itself is the mistake? Every teacher said push further. Every instinct of his era said the body is the enemy. He was about to disagree with all of them. What happened next, the ancient commentaries tell with tenderness. A young village woman named Sujata had made an offering of milk rice for a tree spirit that had answered her prayers. She found a figure seated beneath her banyan tree, gaunt, silent, radiant. Tradition says she mistook him for the spirit itself and offered the golden bowl with both hands. He accepted, and for the first time in years, he simply ate. Strength climbed back into his body like sunrise, and with it came scandal. The 5 ascetics saw the bowl, saw him eating, and their faith broke. Gautama has gone soft, they said. Gautama has returned to luxury. The texts record it without drama. They left him. He was, at the lowest hour of his search, completely alone. Alone and remembering. The Mahasachaka Sutta preserves the memory that changed everything. Himself as a small boy, under a rose-apple tree, at his father's plowing festival. Doing nothing, wanting nothing, and slipping effortlessly into a stillness deeper than years of self-torture had ever bought him. A happiness with no craving in it. And the question that follows the memory, in his own telling, why am I afraid of that happiness? Not indulgence, not annihilation, a middle way. The body fed and steady, so the mind can do its real work. Ahead, across the river, stood a great fig tree. He walked toward it and made himself one final promise. That story is next.